Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, wherever you're tuning in for this edition of the Academy Showcase. We are getting into the top cut, so that means we are going into the top four teams in the Academy. These teams will play in a semifinals, and the winners of those two best of fives, which we'll be casting one of them right now, will go into the finals, and the losers will go into a third place game. And joining me today is Parasitic Creature. How are you doing today?
I am doing quite well actually. The parasites are thriving and everything is going absolutely well. How are things going on your side?
It's going great. It's going great. I've been active in the in this chat room, and on top of that, in Blue Sky recently, trying to get back into Splatoon a little bit more. Maybe get into the academy, but unfortunately, I may have been here for 5 years and they won't let me in. So a little
Oh
bit late
man.
to the party for this, but let's get into our matchup here. colon3.exe versus chip slash u0026 dip. Not quite sure what that means. Not too familiar with the technical lingo there. I'm sure it means something important, but
Most
yeah. Any
likely.
names you any names you recognize?
Um, I don't think I recognize any of these names, but I really do like the name decision of colon3exe. It's quite a fun little name in my opinion. Alongside Chip Dip, I think they're both quite interesting names. And now we get to see the rosters for colon3exe.
Yeah, some interesting weapons. You see the Squeezer, you see some Hydra, potentially you saw a couple games earlier with the Hydra. This one is the vanilla version, not the new one. And on top of that, some dualies. So looks like it's going to be pretty aggressive, but also play pretty slow. Curious to see what weapons they pick. Personally, would be excited if they pick the Dapples, so I've been a huge fan of those for a while.
I'm honestly a lot more intrigued about cropped with the order version of the vanilla charger. I feel like you don't really see as much of those anymore, especially with the constant usage of VAC and the amount of times you can counter that. I feel like it will be really interesting if they brought that out to the table in these games.
100%. We've been seeing a lot of the more traditional chargers showing up more and more after Samurai's performance in Splat World Series. So it's not the leader, but it is the shorter ranged brother of the leader. But let's take a look at the other side as we see Chip Dip here with some similar weapons, but some changes as well. Particularly the Snet comes to mind. I'm a big Tent fan myself. And on top of that, a Bamboo and Nautilus player. I'm curious, how do you think those two weapons will play into the match, and maybe some other weapons that you find that to be interesting on this
I
team?
feel like with this team, especially if they go with something like Explo and Bamboo, you can work off of a lot of chip damage, which is quite ironic because you've got chip in the name. So I
that's,
I do
that's true.
I do also I do also really like the Lita that could potentially come out. I myself am a really big Lita fan, especially considering I'm a one trick of the weapon. So I'm really excited to see if they get played in the set today.
I am too. Really excited. Again, as a 10 player myself, really excited to see if this 10 actually comes out. And then obviously, like you said, the chip damage from both the Explo and the Bamboo will be fun to watch. And we are currently waiting for everybody to join up in the room right now as we take a look at our maps. The first map of this best of 5 series, I believe, is it best of 5 or best of 3? I'm gonna get some confirmation there, but let's start there they are, the other maps of the best of 5. Starting off with Mako Zones. How do you approach this map, Parasite?
If Mako zones, I normally tend to play around the right side of the map. I like to take advantage of the top ledges and poke around stacks. I feel like stacks are a very important part and aspect of these maps, especially through zones. It's one of the key partial areas you kind of need to get control in quite a few places, especially if you want map control to lock the other team out and away from the zone.
100%. That right side also too important, taking the other team's stack as well and trying to kind of sort of impose your will. Any weapons that you saw at the start that you're looking to see maybe in this?
I'd honestly be quite intrigued to see the 10 alongside either an Explo or a Bamboo, like we've said. I feel like the amount of pain that you could get from that comp would be really good, alongside the idea of the ledges that you can get. Especially with Explo, you can poke around these ledges, especially throughout stacks, and prevent the enemy team from getting closer to them. I also do think there is just generally a lot of chip damage that Chip and Dip can work off on to potentially beat Colon 3 EXE.
Exactly. Even though we are partial to the name of colon3.exe, we are non-partial to the teams playing today. And as we're loading into our first match here, let's see what kind of weapons both teams pick, as we have a long loading screen here that reminds me of some of my X games in JP. But as you can see here, we got some of the things that you were talking about with the slosher, and ooh, the bamboo comes out. That's also going to be interesting.
We see a double slider comp on the side of Colon 3 EXE. How do you think that's going to play out?
Well, I mean, they're going to try to take zone with it, that's for sure, I believe. But let's get into the match right now. As you can currently see, they're trying to take that right stack, as we talked about earlier at the start of the game. Trying to find a way in, not really finding it. Now going for the dive onto this edit, and not really able to find that kill, but taking the space, taking zone, and all of a sudden, I think that Chip has all of the space here. A quick slider in is not going to do it. That's 3 down for Chip, and just like that.
Yeah, a really nice double kill from the Dread as well before that trade. I think it's quite nice to see how quickly Chip and Dip were able to take the zone, and now Colon 3 EXE has been able to take it back.
Yeah, exactly. And now we see Chip trying to find the retake here. They're diving in, trying to find it in the zone. A Jink Jet down, and now the bubble as well, trying to keep pushing for space here. Not sure, there's the cap zone. They're trying to put some more pressure up, but they don't see the flank maybe of the Dreadrigger. Goes for the slider, gets 2, maybe a third by Agents, gets the third. Where's the fourth? He's looking, he's poking, he's prodding. Can he find it? No. Walks back, keeps his life, keeps the special gauge more importantly. Wow, what a slider and what a play from the Dreadringer.
That's absolutely incredible, yeah. I feel like it's a very fast-paced comp coming from Colon 3 EXE, and I think with the bamboo and full point, Chip and Dip really have to try and work their way around the much more faster comp that Colon 3 EXE have put themselves around.
Exactly, and you see a quick double right there from the decap, but gets shut down immediately. Chip trying to keep zone here. They're taking top. They're taking the other team's stack, putting pressure on the edit, but they're not able to find the kill. And all of a sudden, the Dapples is now going to try to pressure the ball point, but not able to find it either. But pushed off of the stack. More importantly, the slider comes in, misses the ball point. Excuse me. But the Dreadrigger goes down, and just like that, I think that Chip is going to keep it. But they're walking back. No, they're not going to go for a retake. They're going to wait and take their chances later in the game.
It is quite interesting to see how they've been able to walk back, and even with the immediate pick on the Dread, they focused a little bit too much there, which allowed them to still be able to cap the zone. And I feel like Chip and Dip really need to try and work their way back into the zone. Colon 3 EXE have a really tight hold on the zone. You see the Inkjet coming out along with a Reef Slider, nearly damaging them. With 4 members going down on the side of Colon 3 EXE, Chip and Dip are able to retake the zone, and now it's anyone's game.
And with Chip and Dip trying to find some pressure onto the plat, and is kind of struggling to get up there. Unfortunately, not able to, and gets punished for it. 2 down now all of a sudden for colon3.exe. And now they're trying to take zone here. Let's see if they're able to take it, and they do successfully.
I don't see the decab. That was interesting, actually. You don't normally see a decab just hiding behind there and being able to retake the zone, but that is a very interesting play coming from Colon 3 EXE.
Yeah, unorthodox for sure, and it works out. The Inkjet now able to find the kill on the edit, and just like that, Colon 3 is down 3 again. Fitting to the name. Let's see, they're going to start their retake now on plat, potentially build up. Ooh, an ill-timed jump, unfortunately, for the Dreadringer. Gets him caught out, and now all of a sudden, Chip seems to be in the driver's seat, just like this Dreadrigger who initiated... Dreadrigger, excuse me. This decaf, excuse me, that is trying to find their way through onto plat, and they are able to. Are they able to catch the other decaf out? No, the other decaf actually gets one on their stack, and it's just kind of anyone's game at this point, no?
I believe so, but then you see 3 members going down on the side of Chip and Dip with a Reef Slider coming out from Colon 3, not being able to get a pick, but being able to take a trade, which is quite interesting. We now see a battle between the decavs. I wonder what could happen here.
Yeah, the decavs fighting back and forth. Unfortunately, the Chip and Dip one gets the second one. Okay, let's see if he finds a third here. Looking at the heavy edit, waiting, biding his time, finds the kill as well, and all of a sudden, the map is completely flipped in Chip's favor, but they're here grouping up on plat. Let's see if they're able to push through here. No, they actually rotate now. The Dapples, at least, is going to rotate and try to find a kill through street, but is waiting, I think, for his team on plat to catch up. oh my god, the decav, excuse me, is trying to find kills on plat, not able to do so, and I think this is going to be a flip for colon.exe.
Absolutely, yeah. I feel like this decab is taking some very interesting angles, which allows their other teammates to actually distract Chip and Dip, which allows them to actually just maintain the zone. You see a Reef Slider coming out, not being able to get much, but will they be able to take that pick off of the header? I do not think so.
Yeah, unable to find it. It's right now a contested zone. Right now, Chip needs to find a take, and they do find it, and all of a sudden, you know, they have to hold here and see if they're able to extend this game into overtime, which they are, but Colon 3 immediately retakes zone back, and they're pressuring zone so much right now, getting a lot of paint down, keeping it contested. They're going to wait out the timer. Is this going to be a timeout? It is going to be a timeout, and just like that, game one, wow. Going out of a contested zone is crazy.
That was absolutely insane. Really close from both sides. I feel like this really just sets up the rest of the set. This is looking to be a very close set between two very close skilled teams. So this should be very interesting to look at as we now go into Inkblot Clamblitz.
Yeah, Inkblot Clamblitz, a little anecdotal story. My first team was actually named after Inkblot Tower Control, so not quite the same thing, but I have an affinity for this map and how it plays, specifically how you can go through the pits for flanks, but I'm curious to see how would you approach a map like this, Parasite?
I think with these, I tend to stay around the platform by the basket quite a lot. I don't normally tend to push up unless if my team has a lot of mid, which allows us to take the stacks, which again are quite important. We're seeing quite a good theme here with a bunch of stack importancy within these maps.
Yeah, it seems that way. I think with most of the players, they do like their stacks, it seems. Not quite sure why specifically that is the case, but I mean, in my opinion too, I think stacks are always good in this game. But
yeah.
how do you think your kind of mindset? I do understand that, but how do you think that's going to translate to this game and this set particularly?
I'd honestly love to see a Hydra coming out like we saw, I believe it was Colon 3EXE. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like there are definitely a lot of longer range weapons in both of these teams' rosters that they might bring out to fight against each other in Inkblot Clamblitz.
I believe so. Unfortunately, I have a little bit of short-term memory loss here, so I do apologize. I do not remember so good.
It's alright. I think it was either that or it was the vanilla charger we saw on Colon 3EXE with the Hydra being on. Oh, okay. Turns out the voices in our head have provided us the fact that yes, indeed, Colon 3EXE had the Hydra.
All shout out to the production staff of Stronghold for making sure we don't get these things wrong. That's why they pay them the big bucks, folks. But yeah, no, we're curious to see. Was that sorry?
We get nothing.
We get nothing. Exactly. This is where we make our stand, I guess, against the hierarchy.
It all comes down to the job of making sure these commentators are able to really bring the tournament together by just adding that charm and flair to the production.
Listen, I played at the Splatoon 2 days back when Nintendo was offering a copy of Mario Tennis Aces, so I'll take like some WiiWare game or whatnot as payment. That's what I was looking forward to back then, so I think I'll take that too. And the voices in my head are saying that ARMS was also a prize up for grabs. I forgot about that too.
We need to thank the voices in the commentators' heads for really making sure they stay sane throughout this tournament.
Exactly. Where would we be without the voices in our head? That's what I've always been saying for the past couple times I've been up on commentary. But we're just waiting for both teams. You know, maybe some mind games being played, letting the timer play out. Maybe letting both teams cool off a little bit, kind of messing with the momentum a little bit, perhaps.
You never know what to take from these games. It's quite an interesting viewpoint to look at it from.
Yeah, well, it certainly is. I've certainly called for it a couple times, but I'm still FTIU eligible, so you can tell how well that works usually for me. But we're going in to game 2 here. Clamblitz, Inkblot Academy. And more of the
Wellstring.
same, but the Wellstring double backline is going. Oh!
Oh my lord! This is very interesting. We've moved from having 2 chargers on Chip and Dip, and we're moving to having a headed and a Wellstring on the side of column 3 HC. This is basically 2 backlines on both sides, which is quite interesting. You don't normally see that in competitive Splatoon, really.
Yeah, perhaps trying to sponge some of the aggression from colon 3, and let's see if it works out. And it has on that first kill there. They're looking currently, the pencil trying to take ramp, but unable to find it, getting bombed out and having to move on to a different part of the map. Now currently in ramp, there are 2 trying to push up onto Chip's ramp, but still not able to find anything. Right now, kind of feeling each other out, almost like in boxing when you jab out and you're trying to feel out the other person. You know, a couple isolated picks here and there, but nothing really that has really shifted the game yet.
We see the Decav and Madrid starts going to a battle, but immediately the Decav loses to Madrid. It's very interesting. Both teams have quite a lot of pain, but a Reef underneath the basket, 3 members down on the side of Chip and Dip, and with no more specials, it's more, and with a lack of clams on the side of Chip and Dip, it's interesting how they're going to move on with this. Whoa!
Yeah, Dreadrigger, excuse me. Oh my god, Decav, excuse me, with a great double kill there. Can't seem to separate the 2 in my head somehow. But yeah, great double kill there to kind of prevent colon3.exe to get a clam and get a score potentially. They're trying to fight out a spawn now. The Shark, though, coming from the... Oh my god, the Decav trying to find a kill, ends up bailing out on it. And once again, back to this more of this jabby style. But quickly, the Decav gets a kill in the right pit. All of a sudden, maybe a push starts, but colon 3 is responding by getting a kill on the the Bamboo as well. Just get back and forth all the way through, and yet the Reef is just a little mistimed, but the Stamp gets 2, but gets instantly shut down. Oh my god, are they going to be able to push up here? Let's see. Oh, no,
this is very interesting. Will they be able to push up? That is the question. 1 member down on each side. Now from 2 members down on each side. The playing fields are really even here, and it's quite an interesting thing to see what happens, but more and more members go down on Chip and Dip and colon 3exe. This is anyone's game.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm trying to keep the comms really steady, but it's just been so back and forth right now. I mean, we think that one team is going to push it, and all of a sudden there's a double kill that prevents the push.
And the
really
Decav gets a very nice double kill.
Yeah, the Decav gets a double kill, and all of a sudden, maybe it's in the hands of Chip and Dip now. The Decav keeps pushing through. They get the heavy at it, and all of a sudden, 2 down on Plat. Maybe they have the space now. Do they have the power clam? I don't see one right now. But the Decav goes down, and now they have the shield. All of a sudden, now it's in the hands of colon 3. It's back. It's going back and forth over and over again for these 2.
So they really need to start trying to watch that pen. I feel like that pen has got a lot more pressure than we would have seen from the backlines in Chip and Dip from the last game. Where the Reef started going and getting 1 pick, 3 members down on the side in Chip and Dip. Would colon 3exe be able to make a push? We see that clam. They're coming in with the hammer. No one going down to the hammer, and the barrier finally being broken on the side of Chip and Dip, with colon 3exe finally being able to get some points on the board after 3 to 2 minutes. The tides are now starting to turn.
It is, but it's only a 20-point lead, so keep that in mind. 1 push is essentially all you really need to come back in this game, but colon3.exe looking very comfortable, especially that Decav. Trying to take as much space as possible. Unfortunately, can't find a follow-up, and all of a sudden, grouped up on ramp now, Chip and Dip, looking to find a way to break through mid. They first have to deal with the flank, and they can't deal with him yet. Oh my god, he's still there. The heavy-headed player trying to find a way there, but he drops back down into the ramps and backs off completely. So just like that, what seemed to be maybe a positive push for Chip and Dip kind of turns into a stalled one.
Yeah. As you can see, the fields here are very even. You can see a Reef Slider briefly going in, and another Reef Slider getting the Decav to immediately be picked up by the header. And, ooh!
Oh, Chip and Dip have pushed through. They got 2 power clams in. A little bit of a technical difficulty, but no worries. We do get back to the action here very quickly. All, unfortunately, getting pushed off of Plat there, but a very good push there from Chip and Dip. Gets themselves back into the game, and maybe colon3.exe starting to feel the pressure. You look at the time, and you have to think, you have to start going soon, no?
they need to be really careful, especially if they get a Reef Slider here. You can see a Reef Slider on Colon 3 EXE, and they're trying to push him with that ball, but they're not able to the decab. The decab basically getting 2, getting 3 on the side of Chip and Dip. Will Colon 3 EXE be able to pull this back in overtime?
I don't know. I don't think so. It's the time is running out very well. They have to go pretty much right now, it seems. But
No, they might be able to. They might be able to in the last few seconds. They need to go now, otherwise that timer will be against them. And
oh,
right at the last second, that is really unfortunate on the side of Colon 3 EXE. Chip and Dip are able to take the second game, and it's 1 on the board for both.
This, man, what a back and forth game. First of all, the entire game, pretty much. The first 3 minutes were just like, it was just like a bar fight in mid, essentially. And just trying to find a way to get in. And after the one breakthrough, I feel like both teams got really comfortable and the flow of the game naturally started going. And unfortunately for Chip and Dip there, just not being able, for colon3.exe, not able to find that last push, being denied by the timer. The all-knowing overtime timer that seems to stunt so many teams at the end.
Yeah, especially considering this is the second time this has happened in this tournament. Hopefully it doesn't happen again, as it really is unfortunate being able to get that really good push at the end of the game and then immediately being taken out by the overtime timer coming to a finish. It's really unfortunate to deal with.
That it is, but now they're gonna clear their heads. They're gonna go into the next game, which is Rainmaker Undertow Spillway, I believe. The name is right there, me. Okay, come on, guys. Okay. I'm asking for money. I can't read the stream, but Undertow Spillway Rain comes out. I think that that Wellstring's probably gonna stay for Pop. Here's the thing. How do you think they're gonna adapt, Parasite?
I feel like Chip and Dip have a really good aggressive combination alongside Colon 3 EXE. I think they're both very aggressive. I feel like that pencil on the side of Chip and Dip did quite well, especially with holding their ground on the platform, as they were able to get some very nice picks. I feel like if need be, they would keep that pencil on their team. And I feel like the aggressiveness of Colon 3 EXE, which allowed them to keep that lead for a long period of time with the amount of map control they had, I feel like if they just adapt it to be able to counter a little bit more, they should be able to take the win here. But then again, it is a free-for-all on Undertow Rainmaker. Anything can happen.
Yeah, this is actually, I do not have the best record on this map. I think I've lost probably more than I've won. That's fine. Always seems to be getting to me over and over again as a 10th player. As once again, both teams perhaps playing the mental game a little bit, waiting till the last minute to ready up. I know a common one back in 2 was readying it all up at the same time to show some unity. So curious, maybe a little bit of mind games still being played on the sides of both teams. But yeah, no.
I absolutely adore Undertow Rainmaker, though it's probably because I am indeed a charger main. I love the walls that you can use to get these really intricate poking kills, and I find that a very good advantage to have on this game, especially this map and combination, as a lot of the time your enemy team will be focused on getting that opening pop for an advantage with the rain, so it's really easy to use that to your advantage and get some quick and easy kills at the opening, which can really give your team that advantage.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. You know, I've been tagged out a lot by chargers, so I'm not too happy that you're part of that crew that's doing that to me. I don't know how I feel about that you're contributing to me having those issues, but
don't worry, that's a very regular reaction to have, especially towards me for some reason. If you ask one random low-level player, there is a slight chance they might know me for scaring them in the scene.
Well, unlike SBA, Parasite is disencouraging the low-level players with their charger, but we're going to get quickly into Rainmaker Undertow Spillway. Let's see the adaptation from both teams. Oh. Electing to stay in squid form, not letting the other team know immediately is a smart decision.
Colon 3 EXE are sticking with their comp, and I believe the only change we actually get is the pen going back to ballpoint and the new inclusivity of the new Dapples.
Yeah, new Dapples definitely has an interesting kick. Curious to see how they use it differently. But currently, just again, trying to find a way in. Unable to. A 2v2 right now. A little dual link reference right now. But they're going to go to left side, try to find their way to check, but unfortunately shut down. And colon3.exe is looking to gear up for another push into mid. Let's see if it pays off for them. Their Dreadringer going to slider in very quickly and jump out. A great first pick. And just trying to find their way in through mid, but unable to. Yeah, curious to see. What do you think about this push, Parasite, right now?
I feel like this is a very fast push. You see members being killed left and right, and you see this inkjet coming out on the side of Chip and Dip with Kia. Correct me if I pronounce that incorrectly. They're not able to get much value out of it, but regardless, Chip and Dip is somehow able to get that checkpoint regardless.
Yeah, very good push right there from Chip and Dip. Able to sort of squeeze out the checkpoint. It's going to make it a lot easier when extending into a lead. And just like they're keeping space here. It's a 1v1. Oh, God, a wipe now all of a sudden for colon3.exe.
I feel like it's very... Yeah.
Very scrappy game so far. Able to shut down the Rainmaker, and they're gonna have to repop at colon3.exe to get out. Curious, I mean, what do you think so far of this game right now, Parasite?
I feel like the decabs have definitely been flanking around a lot, as we see before the colon3.exe wipeout. It was Chip and Dip that had the wipeout. The decab on their side was able to poke up from their ramp, but the decab behind them were able to get all three, and then the wipeout pursued. And now we see the Rainmaker dying on the side of colon3.exe, 3 members down with only the Wellstring left, and they are able to push up. Oh, a very nice double coming from the Wellstring. Are they able to make that a triple?
Maybe they're looking to extend it. They have the hammer out. Oh, unfortunately, teammate steals the clip from them, though. But they're able to get the jump in with the hammer and now try to take some space on the left side of Spine. Currently trying to find a way through after the Inkjet is gone. Now they have a chance to pop and push, I would imagine. All of them grouped up on Spine. Curious to see how the decab goes and gets a kill. They're going to wrap around. I'm curious if they know. I don't think they know. The decab gets a second. Are they able to find the third? No. Oh, unfortunate! A really, really good Reef Slider from the Dreadringer.
I feel like colon3.exe really need to bring themselves together to take this back. Chip and Dip are able to already take it to that 40 mark, getting 60 points off of the board. And now colon3.exe have their Rainmaker. Hopefully they're able to make a really good push here and potentially get checked, but I do not think that will happen, as 2 members go down, and the Rainmaker is in a very compromising position.
Yeah, I mean, they're not heeding the warning. Do not retreat. They are retreating, but now, all of a sudden, looking poised to go forward. Spine doesn't find them somehow. Oh my god, very lucky and very fortunate to be alive there. They're going to the right side, trying to find their way through. They have to meet almost the entirety, though, of Chip. And, oh, I think the Dapples are going to get the kill there. They are not going to find them. The decab gets in front now to try to find the kill. Is not able to find it. They let 2 of Chip's players pass.
The Dapples being able to survive that was absolutely incredible. Being 2v1 and somehow being able to survive is definitely a feat you don't get to see much, and it's very much a really big treat to be able to see.
Yeah, indeed, and the Chip is able to alleviate some pressure, pushing it all the way back to their spawn, but colon3.exe able to put it right back to where they were and maybe pick off on where they left off. Let's see if they're able to find the kills in front. No one in front of Rainmaker right now, so maybe a little susceptible to being rushed. And just like that, they are being rushed by the Dapples, but able to shut it down.
The Rainmaker is able to get that pick. It is quite incredible. I always love seeing Rainmakers being able to get picks. It is a very, very nice treat to be able to see in these games.
Yeah, got a really crucial pick there, and he was able to get close to the checkpoint, but not quite making it all the way. And Chip is going to probably try to stall this out, I would imagine, to maybe get this into a game 4. But they are pushing it up. They're putting it in a susceptible situation, and all of a sudden they've lost it. And colon3.exe has the wipe. This is going to be a check for sure.
Most definitely. I would be very surprised, but they need to be careful. There is that decab flanking behind them. And this could definitely be crucial to getting any picks. And as we see 2 members go down on the side of colon3.exe, will they run it off? Yes, they
should not run it off. Oh, they do run it off. I think this gives them a chance for colon3
to. This does, yeah. It does. Yeah, it gives them that overtime advantage. Whenever you jump off the map with the Rainmaker. It's almost destined to give your enemy team that advantage of getting that overtime.
Yeah, and they're putting it in the corner again, but the Dapples are able to not find the kill. Oh, wow. Able to just dance around them, but unfortunately not quite able to secure a win. Colon3.exe unfortunately falls, despite having one last push at the end that they didn't think they would have, I'd assume.
Oh yeah, indeed. Normally when it comes to Undertow, if you get one good push in, there's a really high chance that you're not able to push back. But despite that, these two have been getting really close games, and this is an incredible set so far. There hasn't been a very distinct difference in that skill level, and we've been able to get some really nice games out of this as we now move on to game 4, which is ship-shaped tower control.
Yeah, Ship-Shaped Tower, one of those maps that I see a lot of people on the blue sky say is a hallway map, and I've seen some disdain about it, but I actually like this map quite a bit. I think despite it being, you know, as pencil-like, I'll say, as it is, the pencils do well, obviously, because of that, but I think there's a lot of interesting geometry for a lot of these slayers to work around, and a lot of these more aggressive weapons, so I'm curious, maybe, Parasite, if you have a similar opinion, if you think some weapon changes are in store for us today.
I feel like from what we've been seeing, I feel like the bamboo on the site, from what we've been seeing, I do not recall which team, because unfortunately I am also quite fish-brained, so unfortunately we are not the best in remembering team compositions, which is definitely interesting.
Oh, and the voices in our heads have said that Chip has the bamboo and not colon3.exe.
Okay. Once again, thank you to the voices in our head for being very helpful in making us remember these things. I think the bamboo will be able to stay. The chip damage they've been able to do is absolutely incredible. And alongside this, I've been keeping my eye on the backline for Chip and Dip. I think they've been able to do quite a lot, especially with the fluctuation between that pencil and that ballpoint. There is definitely some potential in being able to carry that many weapons as well.
Oh, and I have received word from the voices in our head that colon3 are making a crucial substitution in this elimination game. Curious, you'd think you'd want to keep maybe your roster in, but I guess the super sub comes off the bench. I think shades of Ari and Robin in the 2014 World Cup for our sports fans out there know a lot about the super sub and how that can affect the game in traditional sports. What do you think? You thinking some Splatoon esports it'll actually affect the game as much, or do you think it'll be more of the same as what we saw in the Rainmaker and Clams map?
I unfortunately am not very knowledgeable when it comes to Splatoon esports and such, but I feel like no matter what, if you have a different person on your roster, it is a different roster, so we don't know what to expect.
Yeah, I think for both teams, you don't know what to expect. It adds that air of mystery for sure in terms of whether or not, you know, what weapon is going to come out, what comp, maybe even the entire playstyle changes. So you do get that advantage on the other team. However, you do also make the risk of potentially losing some chemistry that you've been building throughout the entire set. So curious to see how that all shapes out as you're currently waiting for the sub. No mental warfare shenanigans currently happening right now.
I am personally very excited. I really hope we get to see more of the decaf duel between both Colon3.exe and Chip and Dip. I'm not really one to keep my eye on those front lines, but I really enjoyed the decaf clash between both teams. I'm quite out of front lines. And mid lines. I'm very fond of decaf. It's one of those weapons I'd like to pick up in my free time for fun.
I've definitely played a little bit of decaf here and there. Unfortunately, do not have the aim. Despite the big hitboxes, I have not been blessed with the decaf aim. So I hope your endeavors of that are a little bit more fruitful than mine, and you don't go 3-13 in your next open game.
I really enjoy playing frontline weapons in my free time. I've grown quite accustomed to playing Carbon Roller as well. I'd love to see some Carbon Roller in this tournament. I quite like Carbon Roller. I feel like it's a very interesting roller from the weapon class.
For sure, Carbon Roller is one of those sneaky weapons as well. You do know, I think a big part of its playstyle for a lot of people is the sharking aspect, and I certainly have developed some PTSD almost to whether or not where the Carbon is, especially when playing. But hopefully a Carbon Roller doesn't come out for either team, for my sake, as we're getting into Ship-Shaped Tower very, very shortly. There it is, Ship-Shaped Tower control. Let's take a look at these comps.
Ooh, Tri-Stringer. Bamboo. Okay. Ooh. A very similar comp you'd get from Chip and Dip, but now the Tri-Stringer coming in from Ko13EXE, giving them a little bit more range over the turf. And especially with that Killer Whale, you can expect to see them trying to use that to push Chip and Dip off of that tower. But the Tri-Stringer has already gone down, and now a decaf battle shall pursue.
Yeah, the decaf battle unfortunately ends with somebody else killing the decaf, but Colon3.exe trying to find a way to pressure the tower right now. I'm curious to see, is Chip going to get the check? I believe so. Doesn't seem that anyone's going to be pressuring it anytime soon, but we did see the decaf moving closer to Chip's tower, and just like that, the tower is lost for Colon3.exe, for Chip, excuse me. And potentially a retake of mid, but no, it's just the decaf on their own. They do find a way to get killed, unfortunately. So Chip is now going to be able to get another push going.
Chip and Dip have already been able to really take this map by storm, especially that decaf. Guessing a pick off of that headed. Will they be able to make it too? No, they will not.
And the dental duel persists in this game as we are seeing the decaf be able to get 3. The quad potentially. We'll see you on Blue Sky later. No! No, it's not find the clip. Unfortunately, the Blue Sky will not have more lights on it today. And just like that, Colon3.exe will make an attempt to retake mid here. And they do find 2, so let's see if they're able to make use of the space that they're taking right now.
That is absolutely incredible. I just noticed they actually have double Killer Whale on the side of Colon3.exe. That is a very interesting pick, honestly. As the decaf is able to get 2 once again. We're seeing quite a few of decaf clips come out of this tournament, especially from the set. I feel like Starmelon has been able to really make that effect on Colon3.exe. As we've seen, they've been able just to completely push into their base and prevent them from leaving. It's like your own mini lockdown, which allows their team to focus a lot more on the objective as the enemy team tries to keep their focus. And as we see the flank getting 2, getting 3.
Oh, does he find the 4th? Can they find the 4th? They're looking, they're seeing it, they can't find the 4th.
It's KO for Chip and Dip. Absolutely incredible.
And I can only imagine the only person upset in the call is that decaf player, not able to get the quad in tournament to flex to their followers. A little unfortunate, but I think they'll be happy with the win nonetheless.
Believe me, I know this decaf will be making waves in the showcase highlights. 100%.
all their friends are gonna hear about it. I'm telling you right now. They're gonna do the classic. They're gonna set the YouTube video to a certain time, and you open the video and it's just their highlights. I'm telling you right now. I've done it before. No shame in it, obviously, and does not hurt to get the win as well.
And this definitely includes. This. Oh my god. This marks the end of the semi-set, which means Chip and Dip will be moving on to the SBA Season 4 Showcase Finals, which should be occurring soon.
Yeah, unfortunately, Splatoon.exe has stopped responding for Colon3, and that'll mark the end of their run. Well, that'll be the end of their run. They will be playing in the 3rd place game, but a good showing. I mean, the first map, very, very solid from them. Just not able to pick it up on the other modes, so curious to see what they do going forward. I'm excited. I'm happy.
I think Colon 3XE has some potential to make that podium. I am very excited to see the turnout of not only the finals, but the third place match.
Exactly, and the third place match will be happening, but we will be focusing primarily on the finals, as I believe we might be going to a short break, or are we going to stay on? Let's see what the voices in my head have to say about that one. Break would be nice. We go break. All right, we go to a break. Thank you, voices in my head. Finals coming up soon, and be fair to get a snack, get some water, relieve yourself, whatever you need to do. And we'll be back.